first of all, thank you again. I am so I love this game. I adore it. I've played millions of games in my life. I'm a child of the 80s. Pac-Man, Street Fighter, you name it. I played it, and Out of the Park Baseball for me was the one that really spoke to me, that I could feel like it's like your own fish tank. You get to create, you get to do this, and you get to watch everything kind of work together in it. I'm curious for you. First of all, I've got to ask you. You played baseball in Germany, and
Yeah.
you were a fan of the baseball, the sport of the game. But I'm wondering, there had to be some sort of love for video games, was there not? And if so, what did you play, and what do you play now? That's not Out of the Park Baseball.
Yeah, so I got my first computer pretty early when I was 11. My father bought it for himself. It was a Commodore VC20, which was the prior version of the C64 from Commodore, which is um, pretty famous. I don't know if you remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like one of the first really successful home computers. And that thing had 3 kilobytes of memory, which is insane. But I was lucky. I had a 16 kilobyte memory expansion, so I had a beast of a machine there, and that's where I started playing as a kid. And I also thought like, oh, this is cool. I want to know how this works. So I started teaching software development and programming, teaching myself as a child using this machine. And yeah, that's how it all started essentially. And the games that I probably played the most are typically those strategy or city building games. Like I loved SimCity
Mm-hmm.
and Civilization from Sid Meier. I played this, I don't know, thousands of hours. And we also had in Germany some successful soccer management games. One of them was called Anstoß, which is German for kickoff. And I played this a lot. And this was also like some sort of a precursor to my desire to have a baseball management game. Because if I had gotten in those soccer management games, I probably would have never thought about developing a baseball management game. Yeah, but this genre was very popular in Europe, especially in Germany back then. So I played it a lot.
Off camera, you and I were talking about community and how this world is more connected because of technology, but also a little bit more apart because of it. And you mentioned Sim City, and I remember distinctly, I don't remember what grade I was, but I had graph paper, and I would plot out my city for Sim
Yeah.
City on a piece of graph paper. And this girl behind me noticed, and she said, "Oh, you play Sim City?" I'm like, "You know what this is?" She goes, "Yeah, do you know the cheat code? Shift FUND." I was like, I had no idea. And that's how we connected through games then.
Yeah.
It's a little different now. This community has grown from forums, online bulletins, emails, newsletters, to now the new thing is Twitch and YouTube and people interacting with each other. And you guys have been able to wrap your arms around that. I'm sure, when you were creating this game, you couldn't have imagined that. Does it kind of blow your mind that people are watching other people and playing with them Out of the Park Baseball while playing and watching this on Twitch and YouTube? I mean, it blows my mind.
Yeah. It again for me it's like a dream, really. I mean, if you would have told me when I was 18 that I would be a computer games designer and one day my creation would be watched by others and then others would watch others play the game, it's like absolutely mind blowing. And yeah, the whole industry had a very very impressive development the last decade, and I mean computer gaming is now a really big part of the entertainment industry, and yeah, it's amazing. It's like I don't know what to say, really. It's crazy.
It truly is. It's been fun to see it grow. One of the other aspects that I feel like has been fun to see grow is Perfect Team and the player cards. I grew up opening cards, the thrill, the rush of opening a pack of cards, seeing if you got the Don Mattingly, seeing if you got the Doc Gooden. And now people do that year after year. And I can't help but notice that the cards keep on evolving and getting better. And I see a little bit, it seems like we're moving more from headshots and posed photos to some more action photos. Is that something that you were striving to get to kind of recapture that realism of a real physical baseball card that you can hold?
Yeah, we have Daniel, our lead graphics designer. He all started this, and he back then he did tons of research into baseball cards, baseball card designs, and now we have some help. There's a young lady who's helping us with this, who had absolutely no idea about baseball, but she was really, really focused on learning about the history of baseball cards as well. And they together are now our creative dream team when it comes to the card designs. And doing all those different backgrounds of players that are not real photos is a lot of work. And we certainly need a lot of variations there so it doesn't get boring and repetitive. And they are doing a really great job there. But there's always room for improvement, and I think we're gonna still have room to grow in the next years and then make it even more beautiful and uh, even more variations of different cards and special sets and everything. I mean, right now we already have like dozens of different designs in one single version, which is quite amazing. But you can never have too much because it's you love it when there are more new things to discover and new cards, new rare cards, and yeah, I mean those two they do a great job. I'm really proud of them.
Marcus, the one thing we you kind of touched on some things, teasers, if you will, things to for people to look forward to. You talked about team chemistry. We talked about the tournament sandbox. A little bit of theme team. The one thing I didn't get to mention was something called the card combinator.
Yes. Mm.
Going to take the fifth on that one.
Yeah, and the card combinator. So will this be in the video for the public, or is this just you and me?
This just yeah. Let's just assume that don't let the cat out of the bag here. But
Okay.
we did hear the term in the trailer, I believe, card combinator, and
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah.
it's
Who's going to
it's
get
one of
excited about this?
everybody. It's a cool new thing.
Okay, you
Um,
have been
yeah,
teased.
yeah. It's I love this. It's a way to utilize the cards that you might not want to have on your team, and you probably don't want to have sitting on your, I don't know, on the reserve roster or on the inactive list. So, and if you use those cards for the combinator, you can get some really cool things in return.
Okay.
And the whole system is a lot of fun. And it creates a whole new class of cards. And if you put this all together, it will develop its own dynamic inside the game. We don't know where this will lead, but I'm sure as heck sure that it's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you that. And it's going to be great. Yeah.
Before I let you go, last thing is, obviously this is a year-round game that people play traditionally. Not they don't just stop; they keep playing, and you keep on delivering a new iteration of this game. And I've mentioned it before; it doesn't feel like a refresh, or it feels like there are so many new elements. Are there things you're working on right now? You can't talk about specifically or even vaguely, but when do you start working on elements for Out of the Park 26?
Um, Probably in June.
Okay.
I mean, we have a big list of things that we want to do in the future. I mean, we have such a productive and creative community, and they come up with so many ideas all the time that we could probably continue doing this for the next 25 years without running out of stuff to do. And but after the launch, it's typically that we listen to the community feedback and we fix bugs where we get feedback on, and we try to improve the features even more. And obviously, then there's the content for Perfect Team that gets updated and gets released all the time. But June is typically the time when we get together and take a little break and breathe and then talk about what we could tackle for next year in terms of big back of the box features. That's yeah, June, July. That's where we start working on the next year's game. Yeah.
We'll take a breath, relax. This game is so amazing, and we can't wait to see as we make the road to release. We see this unfold before our very eyes. Cannot wait. There's opening day, and then there's Out of the Park opening day, and I would say it's a maybe a 1A 1B that I look forward to both equally just as much. Markus, thank you, and continued success, and best of luck with the release of this great new game as it celebrates a quarter of a century, the baseball phenomenon that is known as Out of the Park baseball.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Sam.